Okay. This is Sip on That with Kirsten, your host, and Danielle. Okay.
Cheers.
That's how you have to hold
Cheers,
the baby
bitch.
mic. When I get new mics, we won't have to hold them no more.
All right.
Okay.
Cheers. You gonna tell them what you've brought here today?
It's really good. Very well done.
All right. It looks like milk,
It's not though.
but it's not.
It's tasteful.
Spicy.
It's tasteful, but yet, yeah, it's tasteful.
You hear that? Welcome to Flavor Town.
Ooh, the music goes with it too.
Dude, I'm telling you,
right,
lo-fi
so-
music is
all right.
hitting.
So can
But no, we're drinking coconut mojitos.
yeah, which you saw in the beginning of the video. Can you tell us a little bit where you got this idea from? Like, what inspired you?
You know, I think my algorithm on Instagram is mainly food and alcohol. I don't know why.
Mine's lately starting to become that too. It's sad because it was mainly fitness.
Oh, I'm not sad about it at all.
I'm a
I
little
want to eat and I want to drink.
because now
Yeah.
I'm.
But no, I scroll through Instagram on kind of like the explore pages, and I get a lot of like drinks, nails, food recipe ideas.
I need to do nails.
So I get a lot of like really cool drink videos, and people will they share their recipes, and then you find something really really good, and then you're like, ooh,
yeah, that was
step
smart.
by step,
and
and you can find it.
Pretty.
Yeah, I think
like
it's a
the
good summer drink. I'm not
coconut.
really sure if I'm fond of the sugary taste. Like this is kind of like a couple, like maybe two, and you're good.
Yeah.
Unless you did the ingredients with no sugar items, then you don't feel as bad. But
which we try to do less sugar.
+2, that gives you a mad hangover.
I
know
yeah.
that coconut rum's got a boatload of sugar in it.
Oh yeah, it does for sure. But that's the best one to drink is a coconut
You
rum.
could replace it and do a white rum.
Is white rum less?
Like maybe it has less sugar.
It's 65 calories. I don't know how many ounces though. So,
me neither.
Anyways,
that's okay.
All right, Danielle. So, tell us what you do for a living.
I'm an RN.
Okay.
What a joy.
Yeah. So, how long have you been doing that?
I graduated from Loma Linda in 2020. I started working right away. And it's 2024, so I'm coming up on my 4 years because I graduated in the summertime of 2020, right in the height of COVID. Awful.
And how was that during COVID time? Was it hard?
I mean, I was getting close to graduating at that time, so when COVID was like really starting to heighten up, we were like this close to graduating. So we were getting into like our it's called practicum, and it's like the last clinical rotation that you have, and it's like mostly clinical hours to do your preceptorship. And it's kind of like you take everything that you know and you go in and you just do what you do, and you have a preceptor for that time. And at first they weren't going to let us do it at all, and then somehow they were able to work it out where we could, but they kind of deducted the amount of hours that we would have normally had and contributed more of those hours to like classroom time. So that kind of sucked. We didn't get as much
hands-on.
Yeah, because they reduced the amount to even get us in there, which was, I guess, was really hard for them. So.
And then now you're trying to become a
nurse practitioner, but I'm on break from school right now.
Okay. But you had a little bit of hands-on training with that now that COVID stopped. Well, not stopped, but it simmered down. Now you're able to go and go into doctor's office and take actual little like.
Oh, for school now?
Yeah, for school.
Yeah, well, I haven't got a clinical site yet. I'm on break from school, so I'm kind of deciding if I want to change career paths or not.
What?
I know.
Really? What?
I just feel like this area is so saturated with NPs and like doctors and stuff, and so I feel like in this area to be able to get into a place that's willing to precept you to get those hours that you
Oh,
need
just
to
you want to branch
graduate.
out. You want to
It's
go
so
somewhere else.
hard.
Yeah.
I've been looking for a year for a clinical
Yeah.
site. I have not found one.
Right.
Because there's medical students and I feel like they always get priority. So if I went to a more rural area where there's less providers and they really need that,
Yeah.
but I can't imagine just like up and moving for half a year to go finish those clinical hours. It's just not realistic for me. So I'm almost done. I was supposed to graduate in September, but now I could change career paths. So I could still get a master's in nursing education, which that's kind of what I'm leaning towards now. So then I would be able to like teach, be a clinical instructor, and then I'm still getting a master's degree, so I'm not wasting all of the time that I already spent on this current career path that I had chosen. Because it was a dual degree. It was like a master's in nursing science, but it was also, I would also be a nurse practitioner, so it was like a dual type of thing. So it's not like I can't change. But I mean, I could quit altogether, but I don't want all the money and time that I've already spent to go to waste. I'd rather still achieve some type of master's in nursing science.
Yeah, yeah.
And it doesn't matter which way I do it.
So speaking of that, what's the cost like, with school and where you,
really, really.
So what would you?
Expensive, okay? It's worth it. I mean, I guess.
What would you suggest someone new coming into this, like tips or, classes, where to start in the beginning? Like what would you?
I mean, well, everyone's different. I mean, if you're really like focused on saving just all together, a lot of people will just choose just any old school. I couldn't see myself paying the amount of money that they charge to be at a private university for all 4 years, because like the first 2 years or so is like your general ed classes, stuff,
like basics,
the classes that you need to be able to get into a program like that. And it's like, if you can do those at a community college,
do it.
Because there's no point in, like, I went to Loma Linda, so I transferred after I finished my first 2 years at a community college, and then that was a good thing because like the community college, I was able to get like a grant waiver. They paid for a lot of my classes, and my books and stuff like that. And then when I was done with the classes that I needed, then I transferred over and went to a private university. So
nice.
Grafton, at the time I was in school, I don't know if they've raised their prices since then. So Grafton is $46 a unit.
Damn.
So if you're taking a 4-unit class, you take 46 times the 4 units, right? But I had like this waiver, a grant waiver, and everyone has different circumstances. A lot of people can get grants. You just have to ask your counselor and apply for them. You could totally get free money. But so I got a grant waiver that paid for my classes. Now Loma Linda, on the other hand, I got no free money. But Loma Linda is, to deal with, at the time I was at Loma Linda, it was $726 per unit. And I could have applied for scholarships, but most of my money that I had to get from school was all student loans, which I have a lot.
So how did you balance all of that with your personal life? Well, what would you think would be?
Like I said, everybody's different. I had a lot of people in my class that wanted to advance in their career, whether that was to be a nurse anesthetist where they do like anesthesiology. Some other people wanted to go on to go do other things. I feel like they really press you on certain things in school and they make it seem like it's like so much hyped than it needs to be. But for me, it was like, if I can get B's or better and I could still have like a life, then that's the way I'm going to do it. Because some people were literally, that's all they did. They just ate, breathed, and slept nursing school throughout the whole time. Constantly stressed, constantly want to talk about their grades, super hyped on studying. Like, it's like, oh, what grade did you get after your test? Like me, I'm like, I don't want to fucking deal with none of that. I'm trying to just get out of here. Don't talk to me.
And enjoy my...
I worked full time. I was working 40, 50, 60-hour work weeks still when I was in nursing school. And that's only because I didn't have an option. Then there's like some people in my program that still, they got the luxury of being able to live at home and they didn't have to work. Now that's all they had to focus on. Like everyone's situation is different. But for me, I was like, if I can be a B average student and still have a life and go out and do things, and that's the way that I'm personally
how
going to
did
do it, because
you-
I don't like
how
studying
did
and I
you
don't like reading.
How did
those
you
books.
schedule that though? Like, how did you prioritize work, school,
Well, every time you get
life? Like, how did you do that? And how did you make it balanced? Did you make it balanced? Was it hard to balance it?
I think it's just more of a mindset. Like my mindset, it was just a mindset. I just went in and I didn't have like high. I don't say I didn't have high expectations for myself, but it was like it was just not an option for me. Like it was not like I could not work.
Yeah, you had to work.
I had to work full time. I had no choice. So with that being something that was not negotiable for me, it was out of my hands. I had to work full time. I had no choice. And so with that, it was just like, well, I'm going to work full time. My expectation is not to get A pluses every single class.
Yeah,
like I was more of a B average student. I graduated with a 3.3. That was good enough for me. I don't give a damn. We all get the same pass. You get the same degree at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Now, for people who are going to go on to be like a CRNA or something that's like really high up, when you apply to those programs, especially really competitive ones like a nurse anesthetist, you have to have really freaking cracking grades in your science classes and like all of your courses. So it really just depends on what your future plans are and whatever those may be. Then you kind of have to just figure out how you're going to make it work for yourself. And like I said, I got no free money for school, so it's not like I could have just worked part-time and I had extra money left over. Like I didn't have that.
Yeah. So how's it going now with patient wise? Is it tell us a little bit about that. Is it like give us the life of a nurse, of your daily like routine? What's your routine like for being at work?
Like when I start my shift?
When you start your shift, right on top.
I get there 6:55 sharp,
looking like
hell on wheels. Absolutely. Sometimes I get nice, but most of the time I'm wearing my crocodilians.
Those are the best.
Those are the bomb.
I did not.
You didn't believe it.
I didn't believe it.
So you did it. Now you're like Croc Life or Die.
Dude, I love Croc Life. And
Croc Life or Die. This is not sponsored, but I love Crocs and they're amazing. This is not a paid advertisement, okay?
Crocs are crazy looking. Why do they look like that?
I don't mind the way they look.
I don't like it, but I wear them. I rock it.
I got all kinds.
You
put them in sport mode if you got to move quicker.
They're allowing
you can put them in relax mode if you have an easy night. If I'm running to a code, I'm putting them in sport mode. You put those backs on, that way you can bolt and you don't have to worry about your shoes flying off.
Do a little walking jog.
Dude, yeah, no, we bolt.
All right, so you get your Crocs on.
No, I just have to work, I clock in. I get my little piece of paper out of the printer. I go and get my report from the nurse that's coming off shift. After I get my report, I clean my workspace because too many people be touching those computers and like putting their stuff and then like their drinks leak. It's just gross. So I clean everything. I clean the mouse, the keyboard, the freaking desk, the binders, the hole punchers, the stapler, the phone. Like
you clean everything.
I'm playing around.
Yeah.
I clean my IV cart.
Yeah.
And I get my keys because there's like a set of like nursing keys.
Do you think
that I have.
most nurses do that?
No. It's like people at the gym. Like we could start talking about that. You see all these sweaty ass people and then they go.
What do you
expect
them not to sweat?
And they hop on the machine and they don't clean it off and then they leave and it looks like someone poured a freaking water bottle on the machine and they're just like, like
not in my gym.
Hashtag
not
ringworm, ringworm. I bring my own wipes to the gym. We're not playing around with that. So same. You never know. And people come to work sick sometimes and everyone's sitting on the chairs. Like we have
that's a good one because I want to ask you that.
Yeah, we have one nursing station, so everybody uses the stuff. And then we have a set of like nursing keys, the RN keys. So I have keys to the whole building pretty much. And I put those babies under hot soap and water because people are like, oh, can I use your keys? I need to get this. Oh, can I get this? So a million people have touched it and I'm just like, no. And I put them in my pocket. Like that's just gross.
Yeah.
So I do that. And then I log into the computer. I print out all the appointments that people have for the next day. Like if they're going out to an appointment, because I work in long-term care. So I print out the appointment sheets, and then I check the communication board to make sure there's nothing important on there that I need to take note on. I check my audits just in case there was any charting I forgot. They'll send me an audit, so I complete my audits. Then I check my electronic medical record, see what IVs I have due for the night, and then I do my charting, and then I just supervise the floor. So I help my CNAs, I help my LVNs, I resolve patient conflict, employee conflict.
Do you get a lot of conflicts?
When they're like, I want to talk to the supervisor, and I'm like, you don't want to talk to me.
Oh, there's a bunch of Karens everywhere?
Oh, every freaking where. And half of them are homeless.
Oh,
yeah, we have a lot of homeless patients, and we have a lot of drug-seeking patients, and then we just have a lot of patients that are really non-compliant, and then they wonder why they don't feel well, and then they blame us. We have this one little old lady, too, that always comes up to the station. You can hear her coming down the hallway because her feet, like, rub on the floor when she comes down like in the hallway. She's in a wheelchair, though, so she's like, and she comes up, and she'll sit right next to you, and then you're like, can I help you? And she's like, are you stupid? And I'm like, can you go away?
No, she does not.
I swear to God. I can't pay no mind to it. This lady's demented. She has dementia. And she's like 100 years old, right?
Wow.
But she's mean.
Dementia.
She's mean. Wow. And she just, like, her shoe will fall
get like
off. And
that,
she's like,
though.
can you get
They
my shoe?
forget
Do
how
you
to-
even know what a
Yeah.
shoe is? How stupid are you? And you're just like,
you kind of have to forgive them, though, because
I can't
they're not
slap
in
an
the
old lady
red.
right now. I just can't do it. And I'm like, I'm just going to wheel your ass back to your room, and we're going to be done with this.
Oh, no.
But then there's the ones that are totally alert, and they treat you just as shitty, and that just makes it even more just like,
really.
You
can mind the old lady
in the freaking Twilight Zone where it was like a suddenly okay to just talk to people like shit?
Yeah, especially ones who are taking care of you. Yeah.
Sad. It's crazy.
So what?
It's crazy. It's definitely
does it
like,
ever make you want to go to a different area?
Oh, I was like that though. My very first day of nursing 4 years ago.
Oh,
it's
okay.
awful.
So it's always like that. It's
like that no matter where you go.
inevitable to get away from it. Yeah,
it's inevitable.
Yeah. So well, I mean,
I choose to work with elderly people just to avoid that because I just have a hard time with it.
Yeah.
So I just, I don't want to.
This is.
I don't want to make anyone feel like
uncomfortable.
No, and I don't want to be made uncomfortable either. I mean, I'm already made uncomfortable in this situation with old people calling me stupid all night long. So
right. So you just like, this is your fit. This is what you deal with.
I like my oldies at the end of the day. Like I like long-term care. I like having the same people every day. I like
do you learn from them and like,
dude, you'll memorize their name, their birthday, their freaking phone number, their routine, what time they call in the middle of the night.
You're like their best friend, huh?
You just know. You just know. Like we have this one guy in the back of our 200 hall, and like he has a very specific way he likes to be getting up out of bed in the morning. You can't do it out of order. Yeah. So you have to memorize it. And I don't know. I just like knowing those things. Like when our one little dude comes down the hallway and he doesn't talk. He just uses that's all he says. But he understands you. He has like aphasia. Like he can't speak words, but when you talk to him, he knows what you're saying. It's like where you just can't like articulate your words.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, like nothing comes out. Like you know what you want to say, but nothing comes out. So yeah, so he's like that. And he's super sweet. Every time he comes out, I'm like, "You want a sandwich?" And he's like, he gets all hyped up. He gets all hyped up over PB&J. Yeah. And then he'll sit next to me, and then I'll be like, "Sing for us," and then everyone's like, "Oh no," and he'll just be like, "Whoa, whoa," like that's all he says is "whoa."
Do their families come and visit them?
Not very many of them.
That's so sad.
I wish the way that they do, like, you know how like you can do like ride-alongs with police officers, like it's your right as a citizen to be able to do that. We should have like shadow days or ride-alongs with an RN for a night, so you guys can see and be more appreciative. Because sometimes I legit feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone.
That's what I was gonna ask you. What kind of things do you think patients should, after being in that type of environment, what would you tell them to like, how would I say this? Like if they get
to be more understanding?
Yeah. Like what
to be more understanding? Let me tell you, I do tell them straight up.
What would you tell them that, like someone who
when I'm there and it's only been 15 minutes into my shift and I got this patient like, well, my call light's been on for 1 hour and la 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 la, and they're going on and they're talking all this shit, and I look at them and I'm like, I just got here. I've been here for 15 minutes. I have 11 hours and 30 minutes left of my shift. And if I got 90 of you talking to me this way, it's going to make for a long night. I'm here now. What can I help you with?
Yeah. Some nurses, though, that are like, now we know why they're like that, but they're like,
no, some of them are just bitches.
Yeah.
That's why I work in a hospital.
I mean, I guess that's anywhere where you work. You know what I mean?
Work environments make or break for me. So I have to find a place where it's mostly good and a little bit bad, because I would rather make less money than work in a place where I'm making more money and the work environment is toxic as hell. Like I would get fired because I don't put up with shit like that.
Yeah.
We're all on the same team. You need to help one another. Like, I don't know why there has to be this weird, like, superiority complex or whatever you want to call it. Like, oh, who's a better nurse? Like, I don't give a shit, man.
Like that in
We're
any
all here trying to get our paycheck. Like, why are we even in a competition?
Yeah.
We have the same degree. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. We're getting all paid the same.
Hopefully.
I hope so.
I have a lot of managerial experience, and it's not just in nursing, but I've done a lot of nurse supervising. I would say 4 years is pretty, like, a relatively what you would consider like a new nurse. But I have a lot of, like, nursing supervising experience. I have managerial experience in different areas of my life. So I know how to run a team. You just have to, like, morph that to the type of work that you're doing.
You have to understand your
when I come on to shift, these people freaking know how I roll.
That's good.
Like, don't be asking me stupid ass questions. Yeah. If you need help with something, ask and you shall receive. Like, because some of the other RNs are like, no, I don't have time for that. It'll go away. Or they'll be like, what do you know? You're just a CNA. Like, don't talk to them like that. Like, if I ever caught a nurse talking to a CNA or, like, vice versa in that way,
you'd shut it down.
I'd shut that shit down. I'd have them written up, and you can clock out and go home, and I can do your job. Like, we're not doing that. Yeah. So they know how it goes. Answer the call lights, help one another. Yeah. They know I'm going to help them. Like, they know that I like everything communicated with me, because I want to be on the same page as everybody. I want to know what is going on with every patient. I know every 92 patients by their name. That's crazy. All of them. But I know what room they're in. I know their name. I know what they got going on. Yep. I was like that in HR too, where, like, I knew every person who was getting, like, it just became a thing. You're into it. So you're just you want to know what's going on. You are the supervisor. You manage that whole situation. You know their names, you know where they live, you know where they you know everything. I want to know everything that's going on. That's a good employee right there, though. But some nurses will just be like, oh, well, I don't know. And I'm like, why don't you not know? They don't care. Like, you've been in the field so long, though. Some of those people haven't. And it sucks when they hire such new nurses to long-term care, because it's like they don't have a lot of critical thinking skills. They don't know time management. It comes with experience. Like, I'm not hating. I was not good when I was first doing it. But when you're in a job like mine, where you're a new nurse supervisor, for not only taking control of the work that you have to do as an RN, you have to manage the floor. You have to manage patient conflict. You have to help. Like, you're versatile in all of those things. And if you don't know how to critically think or have good time management, dude, you're going to sink. Like, it's just not good. And that's how one of the new nurses is right now. But that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. But you do get messed up. But you do, like, get close with the staff. Like, you kind of start to get to know them. But I have a very it's like you're fine line between my if personal you think shit about it personal and then, like, my work. This work environment for me personally. But you're around them consistent. I'm saying, like, you're around them I need you to take me seriously, and I need to be able to supervise you, and I don't need you to know that I fucking partied last weekend in, you know, wherever. Like, it's not like an everyday thing, though, but it's important to create those relationships. I can create it on the floor during my 12 hours. Anything outside of that, I have nothing to do with. Keep that completely separate. Like, we stick to work when we're at work, and I will help you by all means. And that's fine. You want to talk, you want to talk, but I keep my shit to my I don't want it, because people are fucking malicious. Yeah, they'll use it against you. They'll try and find a way to get your ass in trouble if something goes sour. But you know them on that level, though. You know what I mean? And then you know the people that you can follow, and you know the people that you can go and grab a drink and talk about work. Well, that sucks. I keep everything. I don't mind grabbing a beer with my coworker. Everyone gets the same treatment across the board. So, all right. I think we need a refill. I need a refill for sure. Hold on 1 second. Be back. Drunk as fuck. back. We back.
All right. We had a refill because I was sucking on this shit like.
My shit is to the edge. I can't even get to it.
So anyways, do you go to work sick?
How much alcohol did you put in there? You lied. That's not 2 shots.
I'm 3. You got suck it. Sip on that. Anyways, so how do you think it's okay for nurses to go into work sick? What's your opinion on that? Because I know it's like to you guys it's like a
We're
normal
an N95. I don't know.
Yeah.
If I'm not feeling like deathly sick, then I'm going to work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wash my hands more. I'm gonna clean my workspace more. I'm gonna wear an N95 respirator.
If you're feeling under the weather, yeah, you're not.
But if I'm like sick and I have like a fever and I like physically do not feel well and I'm not on my A game, then no, I'm not going to work. I have to supervise an entire team, and I'm their go-to. So if I'm not functioning at 100%, then no, I can't. I'm not gonna go to work and have that on my shoulders if I screw up because I can't think clearly, or if I like am ran down, or I don't feel well. Like I'm just not doing that.
Yeah, it's not like a desk job. You know what I mean?
No,
you just walk in. It's labor.
That happened to me the other. Well, I don't want to say I wasn't feeling well, but I had to work a really super long shift because the morning shift nurse called off, and we only have one RN on the floor.
Nights.
Yeah, but she called off at 5 o'clock in the morning, and my shift ends at 7, and there's only one RN for the whole floor, so
yeah.
We have to find registry, which is basically like substitute RNs. And they didn't find anybody. I had to stay till 3 o'clock in the afternoon the following day. I had to stay for 20 hours. And I was supposed to work that night. So I told the scheduler, I was like, if you don't find someone, like, I'm not coming to my shift tonight. You're going to have to find coverage for my shift tonight. If I'm staying till 3, obviously. Yeah. But even then, it was in the morning time. So by the time he got back to me, I was like, hey, if you don't find someone within the next hour so I can get home and get my 7 hours of sleep before my shift tonight, I can't come either way. Like, I cannot function on that amount of sleep.
Right.
I have a team that relies on me. I take my job super seriously. So I don't want to not be functioning at 100% because I'm deprived of sleep.
Right.
And I still had 2 more nights.
So the biggest safety issue is not having sleep.
No, I think that was my Friday, so I didn't have to work after that. But
it's
still
equivalent. Did you know that not having sleep is equivalent to being drunk?
You feel drunk. I felt drunk yesterday when I stayed up for my night shift.
For 24 hours is equivalent to being drunk.
Yes, you feel delirious.
So make sure you're getting your sleep.
Plus, you can get cancer and die and all that other stuff. So,
damn.
Yeah, they say if you're awake between
oh my gosh,
a certain time in the night, like you put yourself at risk of like cardiovascular disease, cancer, endocrine diseases like diabetes or thyroid disease, all that kind of stuff. I get enough sleep during the day. It's just my schedule is opposite.
Speaking of that, what's a crazy shit you ever seen? Like medical, wise, even diseases or having to clean up, because I remember you're doing home drop-ins,
the home drop-ins were always really bad.
Worst, yeah.
No, I feel like it was before I was an RN. When I worked in the ER, you see some crazy stuff.
I never worked craziest there. Shit. What's the funniest? No, let's not say crazy. What's the funniest thing you've seen? And no PII information, no personal information.
Obviously, I can't do that. I'll get in trouble.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, what is the funniest shit you've seen?
The funniest thing I've probably ever seen is, it was before I was a nurse. I was a scribe for a really long time in the emergency department before I was an RN. I think I'd scribed for 6 or 7 years. We come in and we're what brings you in today? And I'm just a scribe. So I have no, I'm not allowed to have any medical, anything with it. I'm just there to literally document. I listen, I look, I document, and that's it. I don't have any hands-on. I don't have no say. I don't talk. I just sit there and I just do my thing. So I'm standing in there, and apparently this 13-year-old kid had a gigantic dildo stuck in his booty.
No. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
It got stuck in the blowhole?
CT scan. Well, because it didn't have a base on it. It was just like a regular old dildo. So he took it in the shower.
It just sucked right up.
Went whoop, way up in there. Crazy. We see some crazy stuff.
Wow, I bet. Yeah. Especially
and then we
in
see
the
really
ER.
nasty stuff. Like, yeah, it's just, you just never know.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wounds don't really freak me out though anymore. No. Those are fun.
You think doctors don't care anymore? They're like,
no, I don't
do you think
they
go home and think about like,
no,
I always think about like, do they go home and think it like when I go to the doctors and shit, and I'm like,
no, you're kind of like, I don't want to say you're immune to it, but you're definitely like, you're a little bit desensitized to it. Like you could feel for the patient, you feel bad for them, but you're not thinking about it when you go home. Like, oh my God, that wound was so gross. Like you just, you do it, you move on to the next patient. Oh, I can do blood, poops, whatever.
No.
What I cannot do is vomit and sputum. Like when people have trachs.
And it's all crusty.
So
I can't drink this.
Good thing this is white, not brown. Doesn't gross me out. But yeah, no, that's pretty gross. That's why I'm not a respiratory therapist.
I can't be a nurse.
It's crazy. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff.
Well, I mean,
but it's nice when you work in an environment where you have a lot of LVNs because they do a lot of the stuff that you don't want. Like
kudos to the LVNs.
Yeah, mad kudos to the LVNs. We give them major. Same with the CNAs. They got to deal with all that diarrhea. Give them a round of applause.
Oh,
I respect them a lot. So I get very upset when you get people who act like they're so superior, and then they'll grab your badge and they'll be like, "Who are you?" Oh,
they grab your badge.
You're just a CNA. Or, oh, you're just an LVN.
They do
not
worst
do that.
Shit. Yeah.
Do not
they
fucking
have to,
do that.
They have to deal with the worst stuff. Yeah.
Dude, I don't like when the LVNs treat their CNAs like that. Like, they're your certified nursing assistants. That's what CNA stands for. And you're going to treat them like crap?
No.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, they're trying to get into this.
That needs to end single-handedly, friend by friend. We need to spread the word. Stop treating CNAs like shit because they're underpaid, and I know this from experience because I was a CNA, and they do a lot of work. Like when you get a really good CNA and you treat them like shit, dude, I cannot even tell. Like if I ever physically witnessed an LVN treating a CNA like shit like that, I'm not even joking you, I'd be all up in that mix. I'd be like, first of all,
that's messed up.
Shut up. Like, don't talk to them like that.
Yeah, that's
no, hell no. Don't do that.
No, respect people, regardless.
Especially the CNAs that are like with the same patients every day for 16 hours, because we have a few CNAs that do 4 doubles a week. So they work 16 hours a week.
They want that money.
They're
they
familiar,
get that money,
but the ones that I'm thinking of off the top of my head, they're really good. They know the patient like the back of their hand. They know their norm. They see them the most hours out of the day. They're the ones that are at the patient's beck and call. So when they tell an LVN that there's something wrong, and the LVN's like, "Who are you? You're just a CNA," and it's like, do not do that.
That's messed up.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
I would take their word. I would go investigate. I'd be like, "Oh, really? Let me go take a look." Like,
yeah,
they know better than anybody.
Yeah, they're deep.
They're with the patients like most hours out of the day.
That's where you're gonna get all your information from.
A lot of your information. I don't want to say all your information. Some of them don't know, and some of them won't tell you. But the really good ones, they know what's up. They come and tell you.
Yeah,
they want to have the rationale behind why it's going on. They might not know, but they can give you some good, useful information that you could use. Like, hey, did the patient have a bowel movement today? They'll be like, oh yeah, and they'll tell you everything about it.
You've had a lot of shit to talk about today, huh?
I'm exhausted.
You are a chitter chatter. I like it.
I will go all day
about nursing.
On nursing, our healthcare system in America.
Crazy.
We need at least 10 podcasts for this topic.
Damn, this is like its own little podcast. You need like to have a nursing podcast. There's this nurse on TikTok.
There's too many of those.
There's this nurse on TikTok.
Or just mind my own business. Go up to the mountains.
Funny as hell. I gotta send her to you.
I've probably already seen it.
Funny.
Nurse John is the best.
Everything.
Nurse John is the best. He's
more of like a comedian. There's this girl. She's a comedian too. There's this girl, and she talks about everything she's been through the hospital, and she has like these names. It's so funny.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
She's blonde.
No,
she does like her voice different. Oh, she's funny. She's funny. You gotta check her out. I gotta show you.
Myself, I'm a little
skeptical. You're hard to please sometimes, but
I know.
But it's okay.
Especially because I keep it real.
What do you think of our drinks?
They're good, but I think 2 was probably enough. 3, I'm feeling a
better?
little sugary, even though there's really not that much sugar in it if you think about it. But yeah, I don't know. It's good, but I think 2 is tapping me out. I'm more of a vodka soda with some lime. That's it. This is like a little heavy.
Well,
It's a little heavy, but it's good.
I think we made a cool little drink, and I think we had a good conversation for it.
It could keep going, but
we got things
that
to
would be
do.
we got things
to do. It's only what?
What time is it? We're gonna make some homemade Crunch Wrap Supremes tonight on some low carby tortillas.
Yeah.
So no, these Crunch Wrap Supremes would be really good.
All right, I'm down.
Got good salsa. I swear to God, he better have gotten that Taco Bell sauce.
I think he probably
make
did.
or break.
He's pretty good at getting our
I
stuff.
specifically said Taco Bell.
Well, we should have got everything by ourselves.
I didn't know that we were going to cook. Shut your fucking lips.
We've been talking.
Shut the fuck up.
So, this has been fun.
Sure, cheers to the camera.
This has been a lot of conversations about nursing. You know how to talk about nursing, man.
Yeah, we can do a whole another one if we really,
I'm gonna turn my
to.
hair to the side like you.
It's because my hair is, oh yeah.
Turn it on the other side like this.
Yeah, we'll be our OG
Wow.
millennials. Part your
the
hair
day.
on the side.
Who doesn't part their hair on the side?
Apparently, Gen Z
I love
feels like they are exempt from parting their hair on the side.
I love parting my hair on the side.
Minus this baby hair.
Isn't that funny? We've grown so much. It's crazy to think that we're so old now.
We've been
Do we
friends
think
since
of
we were
babies?
11?
Yeah. Yeah. What grade is
You
that?
beat me to 30.
Dude, I beat you to 30. Yeah. 30's been great.
So far, so good?
So far, so good. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel like
I'm a little behind.
bad biatch.
I'm a little behind.
I feel like I
own
don't
a
care
house
anymore.
still, and I don't have kids yet.
We'll get there.
And I'm not married.
You'll get there.
Maybe I'll get there.
You'll get there, yeah.
My sister beat me to the punch. I never thought that.
She took it all.
She took both. Yeah.
So anyways, it's been a pleasure again. Thank you for
More than an interviewee.
Interviewee.
Your bestie.
You're my bitch. Fudge. Okay, well,
Thanks for joining. For
sip on that.
We're going to keep sipping on
We gotta
this.
sip this. Cheers, bitch.
And cheers to you all.